Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together, BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. This week's artist is No Doubt. And we are talking about Return of Saturn. 2000, new millennial, No Doubt.
5 years since the last album.
Yeah, they toured on that one a while.
Yeah. And they had some producer issues with this one.
Yeah, you notice there's only 4 of them on the album cover this time.
Well, yeah, and they lost a band member.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
I'll go on record and say that's the best album cover so far.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
I would agree with that, yes.
It's very Doors. No, not Doors. CCR's the one with the bicycle that you guys all got pissed off about.
Oh,
the pole.
But now that you mentioned the Doors, I'm thinking Full Circle.
It just has some Full Circle vibes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bill, I think we're back to you starting us off.
Of course we're starting me on this album. This album's a roller coaster. But then I go back and listen to it again. It's a roller coaster in the opposite direction. So in reality, it's more like bumper cars when you really sit and think about it.
Okay.
To keep with the Magic Kingdom theme going here.
Absolutely. You know, I mean, there's got to be some Saturn ride in the Magic Kingdom somewhere.
Space Mountain.
I only ride the teacups.
You got Space Mountain.
Yeah.
This
Haunted Mansion.
This album as a whole feels... It's more dynamic, I feel like, than Tragic Kingdom. Just musically and beat-wise. Which is a good and a bad thing, I feel like. The reason I say a bad thing is because where they go dynamic at times between songs, like, it didn't work for me. Like, Marry Me, they kind of went to a more minor thing during the middle of it, which... I'm a sucker for a minor chord, or a minor beat, or a minor... Even if it's a whole song in minor, like, a good A minor can do wonders.
C flat minor. It's the saddest of all keys.
But, like, Marry Me, I don't know, like, it just didn't... I got chills, but not for the right reasons. I'm just like, chills, like, okay, it's a minor, so I should be, but, like, I'm not getting super chills either. So it's kind
of... You got them DCs.
You know, it was more confusing than anything for me while I was listening to it. Bathwater, kind of a similar situation to me. I feel like it just, this album as a whole felt weird to me. 1 second it felt weird good, and then it was weird negative. So, I'll say this, the hidden track of Too Late, the instrumental, you could have just sent it on Dark Blue and I would have been okay. Like, you know, hidden tracks... Shoot, I was talking to Jason a little bit about this also earlier this week. Hidden tracks can add another element to an album. It can make them... like, oh shoot, like, yeah, I listened to this, yeah, but did you listen to the hidden track at the end of side A, or at the end of side B, or before side, whatever one? It's like, oh, well, you know, like, having that hidden element that people can discover and find out. I don't think people were talking about finding the hidden track of Too Late in this album. I mean...
No, you wouldn't be wrong.
It was... If it was an interlude instrumental, like, Three Cheers from MCR, how they did that interlude as you switch the sides. Yeah. I feel like something like that with Too Late would have been better as an interlude, not as a hidden track closer. Like, it didn't fit for me. Which it might be because it doesn't fit the formula. Whatever. Ex-Girlfriend, the start, it was... Again, all these songs on here, I just had very mixed feelings about. One listen through, I liked them. The next, I didn't. So I'm really kind of curious to see how you guys shaped all this out here.
I was
well, and
opposite.
I think to your point about the hidden track, I think it is a hidden track because it's the one track on the album that had a different producer. Well, I guess there's two, but that was the one that the producer who produced Tragic Kingdom also produced the hidden track.
Well, that would add
So I
something.
think there's some politics going on there.
Yeah, gotta fight nice. In the
Yeah,
back rooms.
yeah. Well, let me preface everything I'm about to say with I need more time with this album. 2 listens was not enough. And for that reason, I think I'm going to be pretty positive about this. Ex-Girlfriend, going into this discography, before I heard anything, I knew that song and I knew I liked the hook. Having heard it again, I'm reminded that I don't really like the verses. But that hook is just incredible. And they start the album with it. Like, starting an album off with a chorus. That's a move. And then, speaking of, production, this is when they bring in Glenn Ballard. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Glenn Ballard, but he's a Mutt Lange level producer whose songwriting credits include Man in the Mirror by Michael Jackson, and has worked on Thriller. He worked on Bad. He worked on Dangerous. He also worked on the Paula Abdul album. He worked with the Pointer Sisters. He worked with Wilson Phillips. He did Aerosmith's 9 Lives. He did a Toto album. He worked with Van Halen. He worked with Shakira, the Dave Matthews Band, Lit, Live, Christina Aguilera, Lisa Marie Presley, Katy Perry, Alanis Morissette. Yeah, I think that is his biggest one, isn't it? He did Alanis Morissette's biggest, Jagged Little Pill. That's his big. I don't know if that's his biggest. He did Man in the Mirror. Another one is worked with Stevie Nicks and Ringo Starr, like Miley Cyrus. He did the Hannah Montana movie soundtrack. Like, this is another one of those guys that you bring in because you want the goods. You want the hits.
But you can't afford Mutt Lange.
Well, when he's not too busy with Shania Twain, I guess, at this point. Yeah, so you're bringing in that kind of heat for a producer. You're definitely looking for something. And that being said, yeah, I was kind of mixed about this album as well. Songwriting-wise, a lot of these could have been Aerosmith songs or Def Leppard songs or Shania Twain songs. Who knows?
Now, what era Def Leppard songs?
The era where they start writing the same song over and over again.
So anything post
So most of it.
Yeah, anything post hysteria.
So Sling 2.0.
Yeah. But that being said, like I say, Ex-Girlfriend, that's a great hook. Simple Kind of Life. Not my favorite single, not my favorite song on the album. I do wonder if Mr. Blake Shelton heard that and went, oh yeah, I got this. But after that, the album really kind of took off for me. Yeah, it's a little ballady and a little saccharine, and a little predictable. But the flow of this album was really good. And it sounds fantastic. And like Marry Me was actually the one that really convinced me, like, no, this is a really good album. First, you just got a basic, could be a Def Leppard song, could be a country song. But then about 3/4 of the way into it, I just found myself kind of hypnotized by it and got caught into the rhythm of it. And then I was like, oh, no, this is kind of cool, actually. Like, they're doing something here. Yeah, it just keeps going. I was surprised with how layered this album was. And yes, it's a pop album. But it's not as egregious as Tragic Kingdom, nor is it as blatant as some of the ones that come out after it. Yeah, I don't know. I need more time with this album. This surprised me.
This is a very weird record in their discography. When I made the sheet and I had them all, I was like, okay, well, you get the first three, which are going to sound like, your ska, reggae, punk, Tragic Kingdom, and then you're going to have the 3 pop records. Because at this point in their like in 2000, I was off, no doubt. Like, I heard the singles of this, and I was like, this isn't for me anymore. So, going into it, I didn't have high hopes. And the first time I listened to it, I came away with, I don't like the vibe of this record as far as the lyrical content goes. Because Tragic Kingdom...
This is where we start moving on to Mr. Rosdale.
This is before him.
But these are songs about him. We're no longer like ex-girlfriends about him. For sure.
No, Rocksteady's about them, like, when they're together. Like, that's
when they're together, but this is like they've met and she's got feelings for him.
Well, this is fucking awful because most of this record... Marry Me. Dude, she's literally, she's singing about cooking him dinner. It's this whole record, her I'm not talking music yet, I'm just talking the lyrics of it. It has a very meek, submissive Gwen, like a very desperate almost. Whereas Tragic Kingdom was very like, you broke up with me, fuck you. This is more of a, I don't know, it was weird. That was my first through it. But then I went, after listening to Everything in Place or whatever it's called, and hearing those B-sides for Return of Saturn, I went back to it again, and it's fucked up my rankings. I have no idea if I like this or not, because...
that's going to make my ranking make so much more sense then.
I did like this. My notes say the tempo change to the chorus gets me every time for Ex-Girlfriend. That shit is fucking good. Simple Kind of Life. It's a pretty song. It's good. Fuck the haters. Bathwater's fun. I'm just not a fan of the lyrics. The perspective has changed from the well, fuck you then of Tragic Kingdom to the codependent lyrics. I don't know. 6 Feet Under. Honestly, never hearing this full record. The first run of songs is pretty damn top tier. Magic's in the Makeup. Even that one, like the lyrics are actually pretty good on that one. There's some witty wordplay. Tom was doing cool shit with like the 2 different guitar riffs. Artificial Sweetener, you get the name drop of the Return of Saturn, Assessing My Life. The melody from Faking I Love Yous was super familiar though. Even if I've heard this song before, it sounds like another No Doubt. I couldn't place it, but this album was pretty good. Like, my low point was Suspense without suspense. It was kind of boring, but other than that, Dark Blue was a decent closer. The whole thing was. This one, I'm like you. I could listen to this. I need to listen to this a few more times to really get it. And also, I'm with you, Bill. The hidden track's stupid. But I actually
Oh.
like the song "Too Late" is actually really good, like with the lyrics. But
I'll put it this way. In my opinion, Weird Al's hidden track from his Off the Deep End album is a better hidden track than this one.
that's Weird Al though. That's not a fair fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You still gotta wait 10 minutes for his hidden track to appear.
Well, not these days. Kids these days just hit.
yeah. These days it came up just as a separate track for me.
Yeah.
It's the same. But you get what I'm saying, though.
Oh yeah.
Did you guys listen to the Big Distraction and Full Circle? The two.
No,
I don't think so.
but
no.
I do see the Big Distraction is also produced by Matthew Wilder, who produced Tragic Kingdom.
They show up again on Everything in Time, I think. But Big
Okay.
Distraction, like the album, would be even better with Big Distraction on it.
Okay.
In Full Circle, they're both good. Like that, the B sides of this record are really fucking good. Enough that made me I revisited the A side songs, I guess.
The songs that made it.
Yeah, the Simple Kind of Life songs. But yeah, no, this I don't know. I'm confused.
Oh, and we should also point out that New was produced by Jerry Harrison of the Talking Heads.
Oh, there is a lot of dynamics on this record that, you know, it's an interesting album.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's something else.
All right, anybody else got anything to add?
Nothing without adding any more confusion. Yeah, I'll take it this time because I'd rather do this one than Rocksteady. I'm kind of curious to see how you guys think I rank that one. Let's see.
Do your pop comment in there. You like-
I'm gonna guess Jason has this one at 2. So I think it's gonna be higher than Beacon just because I feel like you're gonna like it a little bit more. I know it's definitely above No Doubt. Like, that's no question.
Yesterday, it was number 3, but today, I think it's number 2.
Okay.
After listening through it again, I was like,
Let's see. Now I get to Tim. Tim's the dark horse, I feel like, on this one. So I
Always
feel
the
like he
dark horse.
alluded to it. Yeah, I'm going to say he also has it at number 2 right now.
That would be incorrect.
Is it your number 1 right now?
It's my number 1 right now.
Yeah, I thought you would have had Beacon higher there. That was the only question I had about that one.
You know, and really, I'm going with number 1 because Beacon is very straightforward, where this one is, yeah, I definitely need more time with it.
that's what
And so just kind of for that fact, like, it's got to be number 1. It's either number 1 or number last.
That's what I picked up the second listen. Is the music is a lot more dynamic, and it's an interesting gap between Old No Doubt and what's in Rocksteady.
And what's coming next, yeah.
It's a beautiful transitionary album. That's what it really is.
Which to
Between
have
what it was
It's also
before.
the one that had the most money thrown at it.
Yes.
Like, now, like, Tragic Kingdom was recorded cheap. No one expected it to do well. And it sells 9 million copies. Yeah. Interscope's going to throw a bunch of money and let them wait 5 years to put this thing out.
yeah.
Well, we get to probably the hardest one here.
It's always.
God.
It's got to be better than this one.
Yep, that's what I say. I'm gonna have it at number 3 here, just because
Okay.
Oh.
I'm sticking with that Beacon being better than it. Like, honestly, I'm right there with Jason. Like, it depends on what listen through I have of the album. One time it's gonna be better, the next time it's not. Like, it's then Beacon.
Yeah, Beacon's
Like,
Beacon's a good, like, you throw it on and have a good time.
Beacon's a solid, right? Beacon's a solid, good album. This one's like 1 second I think it's a great album. The next, it's like it's just a good album. It's like it's a
Well, and
roller
it's been my
coaster.
experience where I hear an album. It doesn't matter the artist. Doesn't matter how like where I'm at in my life. If I hear an album and I can recognize that it's not bad and that I need more time with it, chances are like 9 times out of 10, the more time I put into that, the more I like it. And the better the album gets.
Same way. Yep.
And yeah, this just absolutely fits the formula where I've only heard it, 1.5 times. But you add a 0 to that and I'm going to have a different opinion, and it's probably going to be positive because albums like this are the albums where you just keep finding things every time you hear it. Yeah. And those are always the best albums.
That's like the Who Sell Out for me. There was
Sure. Yeah.
That was I need more time with this record.
Yeah, I've been listening to that album for decades now, and I still hear new stuff. It's so good.
All right. I guess coming up, what year did Gwen start her solo? Like, what was her first solo album? What year was that?
Like 02-ish? I can find out here for you real quick.
Because I just want to throw this in there before we leave for Return to Saturn, but one of my biggest issues when this record came out and hearing it was I was already instilled in my mind that this was a Gwen solo thing, and like the image.
Well, and they really
that,
set it up. It's Gwen and the No Doubts.
Yeah,
like
the media.
That's really how this band
like
was marketed.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not the case for this record.
Her first solo album was 2004.
Okay, so that was even after
this, even
after Rocksteady, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we're about to get to.
We are about to get to. All right, stick around for that. Be safe. Make good decisions. Thanks for watching. We have a blast doing this, and hope you had one as well. If you like this content, please give us a thumbs up and hit subscribe. It really helps us grow and to reach our goal of 690 subscribers. You can also come hang out with us on Facebook and Discord in the links down below. Last but not least, thank you Patreon supporters. You guys rock. Be on the lookout for more behind-the-scenes cut content in the future.